welcome to our podcast. And today we're breaking down the national education policy in a way that actually makes sense. No jargon, just real talk about what NEP, the National Education Policy, means for students, teachers, and parents. So we have with us two students from the colleges who are under the NEP regime, Neha and Harshita. And why don't y'all tell us what do y'all feel about NEP? Just in general, y'all have spent a year and a half with the NEP regime. How do y'all feel?
Um, okay. Honestly, from the beginning, if we start, it was a very new concept for both of us, like us and the faculties. And it was something that none of us could imagine happening because we were so used to the old regime of the education policies. Ki you come to college, you study, and you go back. That's all. But adding co-curricular activities, adding subjects from other streams, I think all of that was so new altogether. It led to a lot of confusion on both of our ends. And us being the first ever batch of NEP, I think even the teachers needed a considerable amount of time to figure things out.
Makes
And for us, wherein that was leading to a lot of chaos because we were like, oh, give us this information, give us that information. But then the teachers were like, even we don't know what to say. We have no information from the higher authorities. How do we tell you what to do?
No, but on that, the point is fair enough because it's something very new for them also, and they need to figure out how they're going about it. So we can't even blame anyone because we just
Exactly. There's
become.
nobody to be blamed, of course.
And I think any new thing takes time to set in and work properly, smooth functioning. Yeah.
and
But
see,
now that,
Uh,
we
yeah,
are in our second year, we are more familiar with the whole concept of NEP on how it's going to be further. So I think it takes like some time to figure things out. And honestly, there's no one to blame exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like it'll be much easier for the batch next to us, like our juniors,
Yeah.
because now everything is streamlined and everybody knows what to do, where to go.
especially with the new subjects, coming up with NEP. So we had to study subjects that we knew nothing about. Like we studied accounts and everything. So what do you guys feel about the new subjects that are being introduced that are varied across streams?
Honestly, it is like it's good because we are getting to know a lot of different kinds of subjects. But one thing that I don't get is even though we are learning, so during the first year, we had to select subjects, which was good because we were given the opportunity of learning something that we were interested in. But one issue that I find here is we were learning from the streams of science, commerce, and we are students from like the arts background. So personally, I felt that it would have to, do with something we were learning. It would have been great because there is no connection. I think I had taken science for my open elective, and there was no connection in what I was learning in as my majors and my open elective, which was something I had to get used to.
Yeah,
yeah,
Makes
no,
sense.
that's
But
fair because
makes sense.
I mean, while I get what they were trying to do and make it interdisciplinary, it's just there was like no connection at all. And it sort of made it a little irrelevant. But probably for not us, but for like the next batches, it becomes a little more connected and relevant and probably a little more easier as well. So we have this new thing of, co-curricular activities, on-job trainings, field project. What do you guys think about that? Is it something good? Is it something bad? Like, what are your views on all these extra credit things that we have to do?
okay, I have a very controversial take on this. As much as I like what they're doing, I get where they're coming from, and I know that it's gonna benefit a lot of students. considering the people who only focused on academics and not personal development or personal growth will get an opportunity to go out there and try something new. But wherein there are also students that have already done that and they want to focus more on their internships or upskilling their work profile and resumes. So for them, it kind of gets very difficult to manage jobs, and then internships are as good as jobs as of now. And we all know it, been there, done that. So handling jobs with college and then adding co-curricular activities which are compulsory
Yeah.
makes it really difficult, staying back in college after your studying hours are done, and then you have to rush to your internship thing. So I think that balance is kind of off for a lot of us.
Actually
Yeah.
makes
So
sense.
what I feel what could have been done is, so like every semester, like they could have divided. So like one semester we do co-curricular only, and next semester we do internships only. Instead of adding all of them together in one semester, maybe if we could have divided it among semesters, it would have been much easier for us also,
Yeah.
and for teachers also to, give us the credits that are required. And it would have made things little much more simpler if, but well, so. We've handled three semesters of this. I'm pretty sure we can do three more also.
Yeah, but see, the one downside of all this is some students are forced to do things that they don't want to do. Like, just to earn those credits, we are forced to do activities which have no use in our careers, as well as we are not allowed to do things that are beneficial for us. Like, just to finish CCRs, we can't miss our internships, which are beneficial for our careers. So, yeah, there should be some time management regarding that because students can't do
But
everything at once.
honestly, during our first year, the whole extracurricular activity was really good. Like, I found it
Yeah.
good because
Yeah.
you got to know, what as a person you really need and what you don't know. There was like a skill development that we went through, and we were, able to understand the extracurricular activities from the college perspective. Being like in schools, we weren't, given that amount of activities in our lives, but I feel in college this was one thing which was really helpful because we got to know a lot of people. We understood everyone's perspective. There was like team building activities that were done, so I think that was fun. So yes.
See, I agree,
And
but that's what I think. All of these activities, had it been done in school, would have been would have made much more sense, because you have
Yeah.
that kind of time in schools
Mm.
and you don't worry
so,
about getting ahead and making your resume and things like that. So when you come
yeah,
to college, you're directly prepared for all of that.
Makes sense.
and also, but I think under NEP that, making all these activities compulsory in school also. So like by the time they come to college, they know like a lot of things. They've done their extracurriculars. So probably because we didn't have that in school, we're doing it now. But for people who are in school right now, it's actually a very good thing for them. And it will help them a lot. Like it's gonna help them more than it's helping us. So
Yeah.
that's there. And also, I'd actually like to say that at college, it has like a lot of activities, that you can do to complete your hours. And I think that is a really great help that we've been receiving because if, we wouldn't have these fairs or these courses, completing these hours would have been a huge, huge task. So that's something I think we all should be really grateful for. And so we also have this new major and minor thing, wherein you major in a subject, you minor in another subject. What do you all feel about that? So, do you all like it?
I love it, honestly, because I've heard my seniors cry for their major subjects in TY, and then they had to switch colleges because they wouldn't get their major subject that they wanted in this college or the college that they wanted. And I feel so good and relaxed that I know for a fact that I'm going to major in this subject and I'm going to have my minors in this paper. That's it. I do not have to fight with people and do anything of that sort.
That's actually good
Yeah,
because you
and
will be focused like on your career path. That's great.
Yeah.
Um, And like also there's this thing where you're actually learning in depth about two subjects at once, instead of just focusing on one and just being in that one track, you're getting a view of how different things work all together, how economics and psychology work together, how history and political science go in line together. So I think that's a really good thing that they've done. Yeah.
Also,
So,
considering NEP, they have laid this foundation because they want to have a batch of students that is skilled and that has knowledge throughout the disciplines. So, what do you guys think about this from a career point of view? How are these skills going to be utilized by y'all in future?
For me personally, I feel it the whole thing helps us because we are also, irrespective of our studying and whatever, we are also doing our internships, which is helpful. The extracurricular activities that we are doing is really helpful from like a career perspective, because I remember I had gone to this one interview and I had like a resume which had a lot of things that that I had done, which was really helpful and beneficial in my part of getting that internship. And it helps us to grow as a person as well, and the whole thing. And I think it's like really beneficial for us, like for from the career point of view.
Yeah.
So, when we're doing all these tests in college, we're interacting with people, it actually helps you grow a lot. You learn how to speak with confidence, how to tackle various situations, how to solve problems, how to make quick decisions. And I think all these soft skills are really necessary for whenever you go forward in whatever career, in whatever field. So, college is helping, like under NEP, because we compulsorily have to do this. We're just developing those skills and it's very beneficial for all of us. So, and now under the new education policy, we're also getting this honors degree option wherein you stay for 1 more year and you get an honors degree. So, what do you all think about that? How, like, is it helpful? Is it not? Like, do you all have any views on the honors degree aspect of MEP?
uh I think it is helpful for those people, who are actually looking forward for education abroad, because in certain universities you need 4 years of education and bachelor's. So it's going to be helpful for people, you know who require their honors degree. And I think it becomes easier because you finish your bachelor's with honors. I think there's only 1 year of masters that we have to complete after that. I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
they
so
have.
I think it's
Yeah.
beneficial.
Yeah, so under NEP in India, if you do like an honors degree, that is like the additional fourth year. So in India, the master's that you have to do only for 1 year.
Yeah,
Or otherwise, earlier it used to be 3 years of a bachelor's degree and then 2 years of
years of
master's.
experience.
So yeah, they, I
And
mean,
see,
it's like the
also for
time
like
frame is same.
yeah, and also for people who are like interested in research. So the fourth year is like concentrated on the major completely. So for if suppose I'm an economics major, so in the fourth year I'll get complete and thorough knowledge of just economics. So it's like very beneficial for people who need to go to research and everything. So I think like there's a good option for that.
Yeah. And also all these skill enhancement courses and that we're doing, like, and these vocational courses that we have in college, like Excel and research in like soft skills. I think that is also really good for our overall development.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
Yes, I
especially
agree.
having Excel. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if other colleges had that, but for us, especially Excel, it was a great help because we don't realize it now. But when you go out in like the corporate world, Excel is how they function. Everything functions on Excels. So I think that was a very good deal for us.
It
um,
really helps you
so
develop skills and everything. So like IT is much needed, and being our students, we don't get to learn all of the technological aspects that easily. So I think it's a great idea from an initiative from college to help us learn all of that.
And it has been
yeah,
really helpful, like from the perspective of the corporate world. It has been helpful for me personally because in during the internship, all the work was to be done in Excel. So all the tricks that we learned in that Excel course was like it was fun also because it is interesting to learn about new things, but it has been also been really helpful from the corporate perspective.
Yeah, I can vouch for that because even my internship, everything that I've been doing is on Excel. From analyzing the data to making graphs and charts, everything is on Excel, and I'm so grateful we did Excel in the first year because it's been such a huge help for me. Yeah. So, except for like the time management thing between the college lectures and the co-curriculars and the internship, are there any other challenges that you guys face under the new policy?
I don't think so. I think everything else is pretty much streamlined and was working smoothly till then. It is
But
I
just
feel the
that.
only issue is time management and
Yeah.
because we have no time management, we feel a lot of stress and pressure of completing the stuff, but once we are able to understand how to manage everything, I think it's going to be pretty easy for the people who are going to go through anything, and especially for the like the first years who are like just started NEP. I think it's really simpler and easier for them than it was for us.
Yeah, because I think now even the entire institution it has an idea of what is to be done, what not to be done. You know, they can take care of those aspects and make it more streamlined than it was for us.
yeah,
Yeah. And as Pranati said, that they probably will or they should implement this thing wherein they keep one thing one semester.
yeah,
Like you either do your field project one semester and then co-curricular one semester and then you do your internships for one semester. So it kind of evens out. You do not have the stress of doing everything all together.
Yeah.
makes sense actually. Because see, and I feel there should be like a orientation that they conduct when kids are like starting the college to explain how the credit system works, how the
There
semesters are
was
gonna
an
be.
orientation, Pal.
Yeah, but like
Where
still
were
there was
you?
a lot of confusion between students. Like even now we are in third
Because I
semester
feel
and we still
it's
don't know.
like because we were in our first year and the whole NEP concept was new to the college as well.
Yeah,
There was confusion, but I think for the first years who are giving their, they are in their first years now.
now
I
it's
think the
much clear.
orientation would have been amazing and much, easier to for them to get and understand what NEP exactly, means.
Yeah. And I think the orientation should be done by the students and not the teachers.
Yeah,
It should be done by the seniors. Because it's much easier to communicate when you're both students than when it's a faculty and a student. Like we can make them understand things much better than a faculty would.
Yes. Because they get a student's point of view and how
Yeah.
students actually feel. So, yes, I agree with Neha here.
Through this
Yeah.
podcast, guys, you all will know.
Yeah,
yeah,
and we're also learning our languages like Hindi, Sindhi, Marathi, Gujarati. I think that is also something which, we may not like it right now, but I think that's something we should know, whether it's our mother tongue, it's our national language, it's our regional language. It's something, that we should know because that's what's gonna make our everyday conversation more understandable and, so like, no, we don't like learning Hindi and Marathi because we've already done that in school. But I think it just adds to the interdisciplinary theme going around. And
No, I
yeah,
completely agree with you. And I was honestly shocked to see how many people didn't know how to speak in Hindi. I get it. We all speak different Hindis as well, because like Mumbai people have a very different slang than people who stay outside. But at least basic. And then if you plan on settling in Mumbai or anywhere in Maharashtra, I feel like knowing Marathi is like a very good add-on to your language. You can get away with a lot of things just because if you know how to speak well Marathi, or even tutti frutti Marathi works. Just get away with it. And yeah, even I think it was compulsory for the quota people to choose the language that the college provides, the college supports.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good thing because I kid you not, so many students who took advantage of the quota have no idea how to utter a single word in that language. And that's so unfair, and that's so good that they're implementing this for them to feel that reality check that you need to know this is your language.
But I think it's really helpful because, in class, at least it's, the people start speaking in the language, and and it can be, it's helpful because it's your mother tongue, and I think everyone needs to know their mother tongue. And it's okay if, a lot of people are not, but I think the whole language thing really, works out. And I feel we dislike learning it at the moment is because there was like a time period where we weren't doing languages at all. So even though there are people who know how to speak in that language, writing is more difficult. So
Oh
I
yeah,
feel,
definitely.
Yeah.
yes. So
Oh,
that's, I think,
yeah.
one of the main reason people dislike it because one single kana matra is in this side, your marks are gone.
Yeah, because there were a lot of people who have never written in Hindi or Marathi in their entire lives. They have been like studying French and everything even in their school years. So it was like very difficult for them to cope up and everything. But I think this is a good initiative because you will get to learn something new, right? So yeah, I think
And I
And
think
it's
we can soon
always nice
implement
to learn
languages like
something new.
French and German as well.
yeah.
I think if we get faculties, I don't think the college would mind implementing those languages as well.
Yeah, because if we're like we say, if everybody's becoming a global citizen these days, then just even if you could speak like a basic foreign language, even like the basics, I think it's pretty helpful for you. And like especially if you're trying to go into like the delegation or like the government sector, it would be very helpful.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, under NEP, our test regime has also changed. So instead of the traditional just written papers, we have a lot more of presentations and group discussions. And I personally feel that is really beneficial, but I want to know what you guys feel about that.
I agree 100%. I feel so. This is something I got from when my brother was doing his MBA, and all they would have is presentations and group discussions. And I would ask him, that, what do you even learn from all of this? But once I had that opportunity to go up there and speak about those topics in a group discussion or present something in front of so many students, I feel like that really made me improve my confidence. Like it
Yes.
brings a lot of difference. You learn a lot of things when like if you stutter, how do you cover it up? And these are the places that you can make a mistake. College may nobody's judging you, nobody's thinking that oh they made a mistake. But when you there go out there in like workplaces, you have to be on point. There's no
Yeah.
scope of like oh it's okay if they make a mistake. No, it's not. This is the place where you make a mistake and then you learn how to not make that mistake again.
Yeah, because see, in the
Yeah.
professional world, group discussions and presentations are like a part of everyday routine. So just to survive in corporate, you have to do all of this. So I think that's a great initiative that we are gaining confidence in these matters since college itself. So that's something that many people struggle with. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even just presenting a simple, PPT, that also requires a lot of confidence, wherein
Yeah.
you know how to make a proper PPT,
Yeah.
wherein it's not very factual, but then it covers the main points. And when you're speaking, you're covering up everything. That is actually an art, and I think we're learning it pretty well, considering for almost every subject, we're making either a PPT or we're just speaking in like presenting things. So
No, but
at
also
least
like
making
while
us,
making a PPT, it requires a lot of work. You have to talk to different people and be like, you have to finish this. And sometimes, there are groups where certain people don't work on the specific time. So it also, teaches us patience. it gives us how to manage our times as well. Because in the end, there are like, there are teams where in the end, the day before, a day prior, they are like sitting and working on their PPTs. So I think time management is also something that we learn while making the PPT.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
And
everything
I
is
would like
really beneficial.
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to thank one of our eco professors who taught us very well in terms of presentations, and I think all four of us will agree to this. What to put in a PPT and what content is to be memorized, and
Yeah.
how you present, and what research do you do, how do you introduce a topic. From that, like everything she's taught us so well to like implement in a presentation. I think that's gonna help us a lot.
That's
and
very
like
true.
when you're working in a group, you learn how to deal with different kinds of people, from the lethargic, lazy ones to the overexcited ones. You get an array of people to work with, and you just learn how
True.
to deal with situations and people, and just come up with solutions and outcomes that are beneficial to all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially you like come out of a bubble and you get to know like how the world functions, what opinions other people have. So it's like you get
Yeah,
to know
Yeah.
a lot of things. You learn a lot.
mm,
You grow as a person. So yeah,
Yeah, not
yeah,
everybody is going to work according to you and your timing
exactly. Yeah,
and how you want.
yeah,
it prepares you for the real world, as they say.
yeah,
Uh, Yeah, I think this was a great session that we had. We'd love to hear all those points that you said, good, bad, challenges. We had like an entire SWOT analysis, I feel,
yeah.
how we can make reforms to this. I think this was a great session. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming. So I think to sum up, we can say that the new education policy, it has the potential to revolutionize the entire education system, but its success hinges on effective implementation and community involvement. But again, thank you for joining us. We had a great session. And if you
Yeah,
really liked today's session, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts with us.
yeah.
Until next time, keep learning and exploring.
Yes. Bye bye. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Bye,
Thank you
having
for
guys.
us.
Thank you so
coming.
much
Bye.
for
Thank
coming.
you.